hairdresser as far as also a faster hair cutter. I'm going to go over some ideas on moving your clients along rather quickly. My biggest thing nowadays is consultation, receptionist, and shampoo. Everything else is pretty much, you already know this. If you're a hairdresser, you can move your clients along as you want. I try to bring in categories such as I only give them 20 minutes to talk about only their hair, and then 10 minutes only to talk about their own personal stuff. This has helped me move my clients along rather quickly. This is my friend Mark. He's going to be my model today. And we're going to go over some ideas on cutting a men's very short haircut and also how to clean up a beard. I'm seeing more and more that people are leaving the salons and going to specialists on beards and specialists on men's hair. I think it's an opportunity for us to grab onto some revenue that's been missing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is when I start this, I'm going to take my imaginary weight line, which is going to be somewhere around this occipital area like this, and I'm going to create basically a line through graduation of my fingers. As I graduate this down like this, graduate this like this, I'm going to create another line that's going to move that graduation straight up. It's really a simpler idea than we would think. My first thing that I usually do is I always cut around the ears to make sure I have a good hairline. I always check the ears, making sure they don't have weird ears. Sometimes somebody will have a good ear on this side, but a funny ear that sticks out kind of awkward on that side, and it's happened before. So she wore that asymmetrical haircut for about 12 years, to be honest with you. All right, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this right here, put my finger on his ear, and I'm just going to cut around that ear, knowing that that's going to be my line right there. Now that line is going to connect to behind the ear, which I'm going to connect right here. I'm going to connect that line right behind the ear like this. Now I know it looks like there's a wedge in there, but that point is what I'm going to use as my reference. I met Mark many years ago. He's actually a very famous kinetic artist. He builds beautiful moving art. I love when he brings me stuff that he goes to the festivals and shows it off and stuff. He's got great hair. He's also he also competes in beard competitions. He does amazing stuff. I might even show you a few ideas that we do for his beard today. Let me see where we're going here. I like to keep Mark's neckline and hairline very masculine. So you'll see my lines are very square and very angled. Very seldom ever round off any line on his haircuts.
Cut my hair for 24 years now.
Yeah. Been cutting Mark's hair for 24 years now, he says. Ah. I'm just barely 24 years old myself, so I'm good. There's that point I told you before on the other side. I kind of use that top of that ear as my guide, feed it into there, and then just make that little triangle right there. Now I'm going to show you how to cut it one way, and then I'm going to finish it another way. This is actually my graduated weight line. You can see it right here if you picked it up. This is almost the longer hair into the shorter hair. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this side and I'm going to cut a graduated line on it. And then the other side, I'm just going to take, and I'll show you how to do it with just a clipper. I'm going to make my guideline as clean as I can. The reason why I'm tilting my fingers down is because I want more weight on the front of his hair. I want to create this movement coming forward so that when I do brush it up like this, it has that look to it. This My weight line is gonna gradually move around. Now, this is all visual hair cutting, so if you're not a visual hair cutter, you might be having problems seeing this. If you're a visual hair cutter, this totally makes sense to you. On the other side, I'll show you what a technique hair cutter does. So here's my rounded line. Following that occipital of the head. So this line flows to perfection. There's that. Now on this side over here, what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna show you how to do it without blending a line like that. I'm gonna actually cut a line down here with a clipper and bring it over to here. So you're actually learning 2 ways to cut this hair. This is one of the reasons I always use a cordless clipper. The reason why is what you want to do is you want to stay about an inch or 2 below that line that you want to create. So what I usually do is I just take my clipper and I go just like this. Now by creating that line right there, that is what I call a hard line. This hard line is real easy to take out. What you're gonna do is you're gonna set your clippers to whatever depth you want. And in this case, I'm just gonna use it. I very seldom ever use these. This is actually considered a 0 guard. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna just take that 0 guard and you're just gonna scoop this up, just like this, right to that line. Now you gotta remember, you're out there against a lot of good hairdressers these days, especially when it comes to men's hair cutting. So you gotta be as fast as you can. You can't be playing around, having a conversation and stuff like that if you're gonna knock these out, because we all know that you can do coloring and make more money. But if you happen to have a men's clientele or an opening in your day, you have to be able to put them in, take them out, and do the residuals of what it takes to be a good men's hair cutter. You want them to book, and by the way, men book more steady than any clients I've ever met. Most of my men clients, I've been doing this almost 50 years. I actually have probably about 7 or 8 men clients that have been my clients for 50 years, which I think is pretty cool. So as you're taking this right here to this line, as you can see, Mark's got a good head for this. He doesn't have any lumps or bumps. So,
Well, thank you.
thank you, there you go. Now even in the back here, because when I transition here, you're gonna see the difference. That's my transition line, so I'm only gonna clip or cut up to there. That's that side. Now I'm gonna show you how to do this side with a totally different technique. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a thing called a flat topper. This is a flat topper. And those of you who know me or seen my shows before, I use this for a lot of things. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that flat topper in there. There's my guideline, and I'm gonna cut right to it. When I cut right to that guideline, I'm doing the exact same thing I did with the other line, except this is a softer line. So he'll have a softer line on this side. I watch a lot of videos and stuff on the new ideas of cutting hair. And I think this is probably the 2 I prefer to watch over anything. Because once you get either one of these down, you can cut hair pretty fast, especially in men's hair. So see how much softer that line is? Than that line? You're creating a weight line here, and you're gonna blend from here to here. Here, you've already blended your weight line from here to here, and you're gonna take this underneath out. So you're basically doing the same idea both times, except there are two different ways of achieving the exact same thing.
What type of clipper are you using, Joe?
This is a Babyliss Pro. Babyliss is probably the only clipper I've used in the last 50 years. So I know they've changed them quite a bit. This is a cordless. It has 2 batteries it comes with. When I first got this clipper, I never used cordless clippers before because I didn't think they were dependable. But through the years, they've changed so much that they can actually handle a beard like this, and they can actually handle a haircut like this. Now you can almost see with your eye how visual that is different, right down the middle there. And what I'm gonna do over here is I'm gonna come on this side. This is where it all comes together. What I'm gonna do is, because that line is so hard, remember I told you you're gonna be below it? I'm gonna take my clipper comb and just blend that right in. Now, as I'm blending this in, you can see how easy it goes. There's 2 more steps that, I can't see any of you, but I can tell there's some people going, well, that was a whole lot easier than I thought. Yeah, I'm creating my own blend line right now. Just take it at an angle and blend it right in. Now, this is where you start determining how short you want this. If you want to leave it like that, that's fine with me. You still got to clean it up a little bit. But if you want to even take it a little shorter, I'll show you how to do that too. Mark has really straight hair. And back in the day, he probably would have been a great candidate for a flat top or something like that. Today's hair cutting, it's not so much the flat top, it's more the style, the woof of it all, the lift of it all. In hairdressing, what I found is, as you get a little older, you do 1 of 2 things. You start doubting yourself, or you pull up your pants, tighten up your belt, and go forward. It takes a lot to be a hairdresser in today's day and age. You have to go forward. You cannot go backwards. I see people who want to work less and less and less and less. That's fine if that's what you want to do. But there's always somebody behind you who wants to work more and more and more and more. So it becomes more difficult to stay on top of the edge. Now, this is where I told you kind of all the rubber meets the road. This is where you start to blend that line right to there to there. So now you've got this line again, and now you're taking this out again. If you have any questions, please throw them at Ashley. She's ready to take any questions you got. I know it gets confusing because you're seeing 2 different haircuts at the same time on the same head. But fortunately, you now have an option. So just by taking these like this, now you've created my weight line here, and you've created my weight line here. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to set my clipper to the lowest setting, and I'm going to take that and go right at an angle. As you set that angle, just brush away that little bit of hair. Brush away that little bit of hair. There's your angle. Tilt your clipper just a tad. Tilt that clipper just a tad. Now you're taking just little bits of this hair out as it comes along. So now, do you see that line you've already created? Simple, easy. I'll clean off the edges in a second. Now we're gonna come on this side and do the exact same thing, creating the exact same line. Exact. You've done the same haircut and you have two different choices. You can have a hard line or a soft one.
What was the other large comb that you used and where can they find one?
That's a flat topper. And they're all, I buy these all the time. There's so many companies that make them. This happens to be Brian Drum's flat topper. I've had this one for about 45, 50 years. And I'm always amazed because I actually did a young man's hair that was a news anchor. And he moved many times. He moved from Chicago to LA, and then he moved from LA to San Francisco to Chicago, Chicago to Milwaukee, Milwaukee to Atlanta. And he always came back to get his hair cut. And the thing that I used to laugh is because he'd always say nobody could cut his hair because they don't have that big comb. So I kind of locked him in as a client for all those years because of the big comb. He started relating his good quality haircuts with my big comb. So it's a Brian Drum, it's a flat topper, has a level on it. I don't even use it anymore. I will show you a trick with it a little later. Look down, just a tad. There you go. And I know you didn't think these haircuts would blend this perfect, but they blend to perfection. There's my line and it is gone. Now, when you come on this side, this gets a little tricky only because of the camera. But what you have to make sure is you see that visual line. Remember, I told you to go at it at an angle? This is a great way to see it. See how I take that angle right off at the edge? See what I created right there? And then cut right into it and scoop it out. So that side was done technical, this side was done visual. You can see how clean this line is just by going in and just scooping at it a little more. You're creating a much cleaner line every time. You okay, Mark?
Yeah. There we go.
There you go. When you find somebody that has a beard like this, you got to be very cautious not to cut below this ear line right here. If you cut this beard below this ear line, just doesn't work. It makes the face look not symmetrical. So there's my blend line there. So now you got two different versions of the same haircut. And as you can see, I can see too because I have a mirror in front of me. This hair has a blend line that goes from here to here and from here to here. And you would think in the back you would see the difference, but you don't, because you did the exact same thing two different ways.
Joe, what clipper setting?
Zero. It's on zero.
Zero.
I actually have it set on zero right now. Now, as you go through the visual part of this, you're going to start to see, I'm going to clean up his neckline. I was going to give him a hard part today, but he said he's got a business meeting tomorrow, so I'm going to skip the hard part. And what I'm going to show you to do next is the easiest thing you'll ever do in men's hairdressing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to blend this whole haircut. And absolutely no work. Now, I've been doing this haircut for only 20 minutes. And believe it or not, in 20 minutes, I'm pretty much done with the haircut. Taking my flat topper, I'm gonna create a guideline. Now I'm taking out just that little bit of weight on this side where I made the hard line. Now, this is kind of strange for me because when I started as a hairdresser, I did no men's hairdressing. I did no men's hair cutting. I did no beards. And then all of a sudden I had an opening one day, probably about 45, 50 years ago. And the receptionist asked me if I would please do a man's haircut. I said yes, not knowing that I was going to become not a men's hairdresser, but a better hairdresser because I knew the ideas of holding my fingers in a different angle to create weight lines. And visual weight lines are so much easier to control when you know what you're doing. It's almost like an architect who can build a house and then tries to build skyscrapers. They're the same ideas, the same fundamentals, but they change a little with each one. So that's what I'm basically teaching you today is I'm teaching you how to make a choice on how you want to finish this. Mark's got a good head for a good fade, which most people don't. Always checks for what I call the lumps and bumps. Many years ago, I had a young man and he had an indentation in the back of his head and he always wanted his hair cut shorter and shorter and shorter. So when I finally gave him that very short haircut that he wanted, he walked out of the salon a happy guy, but I said I'd never cut it again because it looked like he had an indentation like this, came out like this and went back like this. It was crazy.
Someone wants to know, is the hair going to be longer in that little wrinkle in the back of his head?
Right here?
It's sitting right there, yeah.
Yeah. What happens is when I'm done, I will take that like that and I will fade it right out. Thanks. That was a great question, by the way. When you're blending like this, you got to get comfortable with this line. What I see people do, they try to scoop that line out real quick. Just take your time and just barely scoop it out. Are you enjoying this so far? Please comment. I don't mind.
Laggy, so
What's that?
my computer a little laggy, so there might be commenting, but we won't see it yet.
Okay. As you can see, I'm just barely taking those little hairs off. Sometimes it even looks like I'm not even cutting anything.
Yes, they say.
You got it. This is what they were asking the question. Am I going to leave these little hairs right in this little thing longer? When I'm all done, I'll show you how to get rid of them. It's a real easy idea. All you have to do is make sure that you can put your fingers on it and move it like this. Okay? Now remember I told you we faded out that side. Now we're going to fade out this side too.
Someone said it's extremely helpful. Thank you.
Now, a good visual hair cutter can actually see the difference that I'm creating. An average person cannot see the difference. I've seen it many times where I do one son that I do with the hard line and one son that I do with the soft line. I determine that by the type of hair they have. Mark happens to have that kind of hair. You can do it either way, it works. If somebody has curlier hair, do not do that hard line on them. The first thing you will see is problems. If somebody has very stick straight hair and they want a really clean blend line, perfect idea for them, especially if they want that almost skin look on the side. We're blending this again. If you keep your clipper tilted like this, you will never get that super hard line in there. If you scoop like this, you may create a hard line. So you have to work harder on getting rid of it. My last one that I'm gonna do today is a longer men's haircut. I'm gonna kind of leave it, I don't know. I'll see what he wants to do. Oh, this is what I was gonna tell you too. Always get a clipper that you can handle. If your hands, I find sometimes this might be a little too big for somebody with smaller hands. But if you're in a situation where you need to get into something, make sure your clipper fits your hands. Oh, my battery's going on me. There it goes. If your clipper fits your hands good, you're okay. If it doesn't fit your hands, maybe it's not the brand that you need. See how I got rid of that line right there? It was pretty easy because oh. Now my clipper went out. Let me go get a new battery. I always make sure I plug my battery right back in because I'm going to use it again. I always plug my battery right back in because I'm going to use it again. As you take these corners off, I try not to round them too much. Look at it visually, see how it looks to your eye. What I'm gonna have to do is take just a little more of that edge off right there. Go back in with my comb. There you go. Perfect. As I'm cutting around here, I pretty much got my whole guide cut in this. Pretty simple for me. You guys like this kind of stuff? I always think it's kind of cool to try something new, especially, well, this is one of the things that I've always done in my whole entire life, is I always do the things, the hard things. If I couldn't cut men's hair, I learned to cut men's hair. If I was uncomfortable with something, I ran towards the uncomfortable, not away from it. The reason why I've always done that is because honestly, it makes you a better person at your trade. What I've learned through my years of hairdressing is if you're too comfortable, you're probably not gonna be around too long. Being uncomfortable in hairdressing, I know it doesn't seem like it would be an idea that would work. But for me, it's always worked because when I have that downtime, I'll set up a mannequin and practice a new style that I saw maybe on the internet, something that I learned, something old, something new. And I just keep trying because I just feel that there's so much art in this business that is not used. I know it's always nice when you're a fresh stylist and everybody listens to your every word, and that's a great thing to be able to do. But the reality of it is there's somebody coming up right behind them as well as somebody coming up behind you. Me and my wife are both hairdressers. My son's a hairdresser, my daughter's a hairdresser. And I'm never ashamed to ask my son or my daughter if they're doing a technique that I've never seen. To, hey, can you teach me that? Can you show me how you're doing that? They're willing to give it to you. You just have to be willing to ask. Okay. We're almost done with this, and then we're gonna start on his beard. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish up with my, where is it? There it is. Now this is an Andis. This is another tool. When you hold it, this is cutting with clippers and cutting with scissors are very similar. Because when you cut with scissors, if your hands are square or horizontal to the head, you're always gonna have a hard line. If you turn your hands like this to cut that angle, you're always gonna soften the line. So by softening the line, that's your determination as an artist. So what I usually do, especially with my clippers, is whatever line I want to create, that's how I hold my clippers. So I want to keep that line here pretty soft. So I'm not going to go in it like this. I go in it like this at an angle. Keeping that at an angle like that just gives it just a little bit more credibility. Cleans up everything. This is looking really good, ain't it? Keep that line soft. Get at an angle. Take that line out. Sometimes I have to go back over it with just a little bit. Sorry about that. I have my boiling comb popping out of the bottom of my pouch here. Sometimes I have to go back over it and I'll just take a razor and just slick off those neck hairs. When I'm all done, I'll probably put a little conditioner on there and clean that neck hair off real clean.
Someone wants to know, is that like a foil shaver?
I think it is. Yeah, this is basically foils that are on there. So I'm imagining that's what they're asking. Sometimes if you leave the hair a little too long, that this little, clipper doesn't do it, so you gotta go back and kind of clean it up. There you go. Oh, there we go. I don't know about you guys, but this is looking pretty good for just doing a 20-minute haircut. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you how to do the flat topper on the top and just create a movement where this is much longer and this is much shorter. So what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna do what the flat topper was made for. Try to keep the hair as moist as you can. Are you ready for this? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually take this with my fingers and I'm gonna create a line like this, going this way. And when you do this, it's your own judgment of basically what it is. So I'm gonna take my line like this. I'm gonna use this piece right here as my guideline. There's my guide. I'm gonna tilt my fingers and cut it to that point. Now I'm gonna take this and cut this going to this point. And this to this point. What I'm gonna do is when I get to here is I'm gonna assume that I can no longer cut this point right to here. So I'm gonna take this. And I am gonna use this as my guide. There's my guide. Now, let me start on this side for you. Pick it up to my guide right there. There's my guideline. Does that make sense? Here's your guideline right here. This is what you're taking off. There's your guideline. Taking it off. There's your guideline. See how you smoothed that right into there like that? There's your bottom of your guideline. Lay it right off to there. Lift it up. 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 Now we're going to do this side. Now, when you pick this up like this, you can see your guideline, but you got to remember that it was tilted. So you also have to tilt with it. You just can't pick it up and cut to a guideline that you don't see, which I find most of the kids, when I first teach them how to use this, that's the first thing they want to do. They just want to not see a guideline. This is a guideline. Right here is my guideline. When I pick it up like this, you see my guideline drop out? There you go. Now I take that, there's my guideline again. Take it out the guideline. It should start to seem like it's almost so simple to you, because all you're doing is taking off these little pieces that don't blend in the guidelines. Now, when I'm all done, what I'll do is I'll go back and check this really quick to make sure it's clean. You basically see me do a whole haircut with nothing more than a clipper and a flat topper. You can see this has got a real organic look to it. There's my guideline. There's my guideline. There's my guideline. There's my guideline. Oh, there you go. Take that off. There's my guideline. Now you're gonna cross check it just like you would any other haircut. See something that's not working, you gotta take it off. Don't be scared. Clean guideline all the way around. You don't always have to do this. I just do it because if I did miss something, I pick it up real quick. Takes my time, makes me feel more confident about the work I'm doing. Little corner right there. By the way, that happens a lot with a flat topper. If you're not experienced with it, I would always go back and check my corners. Because if you see a little corner and all you have to do is just nip it off, you just nip it off. It's not gonna change the idea of the haircut. I think the most thing I found is that I'm so confident with the flat topper and the idea of it that I can cut a men's haircut so much quicker. I'm probably gonna cut a woman's shag for my next haircut. And sometimes I even use the flat topper for that. But no matter what you do, it's all visual. Yeah, it's as clean as could be for a flat topper, I'll tell you that much. So I'm gonna dry his hair and then we're gonna start on his beard. That looks pretty good, don't it? All right, now. Let's see what we do with this beard, this hair, and we'll get this beard started too. You guys having fun out there? We're shooting this in my shop today. It's me and Ashley and Mark, and we'll have models coming in and out all day. If you have any questions, please just ask me. I don't mind at all. Matter of fact, sometimes I like a good question. It makes my brain work. How cool can we make this look? This is a very business haircut. Probably a little bit more business than Mark usually gets. And he just go. Go. Sorry about that. We're gonna have somebody a little later. She's gonna show you how to do like a popcorn braid. It's a cool idea. Obviously, you can tell you've got a good head of hair and you just kind of blow it out. Sometimes if the hair in front gives you too much problem, what you can do is you can take a thinning shear, by the way. Matter of fact, this is pretty much. The difference between this thinning shear and this thinning shear is this thinning shear has thinning teeth on both sides. This has one. When you have anything that has one and you clamp down, it's usually gonna make a mark. So I don't wanna make any kind of marks, so I'll just take this and go right underneath in front, because what does long hair do? I mean, short hair do? Short hair pushes long hair. So just kind of lift that up, just a tad like that. So I'm sure everybody out there's got a comment and throw it at me and let's see if we can answer any questions for you. By the way, whenever you do a men's haircut and you see the guy has strange eyebrows or long eyebrows or anything like that, ask him if he wants them trimmed. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. This is looking really clean.
Someone did ask, can you show how you would do a line on his part?
On his part, sure. Someone asked how you would do a line on his part. I'll show you that in 1 second. If I was gonna do a hard part, what I would basically do these all the time, by the way. What I would basically do is I would take my clipper, I would take my clipper and I would go right along this part how I wanted it. It's a really simple idea. And that's what you would create. You would create whatever kind of part you want. If you didn't have a business meeting tomorrow, I'd probably give them a hard part. Hi, how are you? Good. I'd give him a hard part, but tomorrow he has a business meeting, so.
You can do it.
Oh, okay. Mark said he does.
Odds are it's gonna be covered with a fair net.
Oh, okay. He said that tomorrow he's doing what the business that he's doing, he's probably gonna be covered with a hairnet, so here's how you cut a hard part in somebody. We go just like that. That's a hard part. We cut it deep inside of there. And you gotta be careful because I've gotten too aggressive with a couple of them and they start looking really strange. Is that okay? Does that answer your question on a hard part? I'm gonna blow his beard out real quick. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blow his beard out real quick. I'm gonna trim just the sides and the bottom. I'm not gonna take anything out of here. He likes the volume in his beard. As I'm blow drying his beard, I usually put a little bit of product in it. Look at the difference in just blow drying that beard that soft. You created two different, I mean, this is definitely two different textures. This looks a lot better than that. If he's going out or something like that and he wants to look really clean, that's fine. If he's hanging out in the wilderness, that side's fine. So. Am I using a round brush on the beard for a reason? Yes. It's a lot easier on his face. The one thing I can tell you that you teach with men's hair cutting is they will stick with you, but you have to deliver on all the time. You can't just cut a guy's hair for the same way for 45, 50 years. They're just like anybody else. They're gonna start looking for change. So stay on top of your game. Never be scared to ask, hey, can I do something different? Hey, I'm looking at a new idea. Do you want to wear it forward? Can we push it backwards? These are all things that you can do very quickly, but the idea is don't get too comfortable. Ask them, Mark, how do you like your beard? You want to try something new? You want to try something different? Hey, should we comb it back? Over the years, trust me, Mark has changed his hair not once, not twice, but probably about what? About 40 times?
Nearly every time I walk in here.
There you go.
Someone wants to know how far back.
The hard
with the
part,
part, yeah.
that's up to you. If you have a young man who wants a really hard part, sometimes I'll take my flat topper and I'll actually cut this corner off so you can see the hard part even more. Sometimes I'll turn the hard part in at an angle. When I turn the hard part into an angle like that, it depends what you want to create. This is, I mean, if you really look at that, that's a hard part. I mean, I shaved right to the scalp. This is pretty easy. But when I put the paste on this and get this all moving backwards, clean up his eyebrows, you won't even see the hard part. It'll look like God gave him a natural part right there. So again, I'm gonna do the bottom of his beard real quick. Takes me about 2 minutes.
Someone said their cat is mesmerized by what you're doing. Everyone loves to learn from you.
No, thank you. I'm gonna nick off the corners. When you cut a man's haircut, this jawline is a masculine line. I told you before, never round off corners. Even the jawline, if you can, keep it as square as you can. That didn't take a lot of hair off, I know, but that line is now clean. Coming at it very, very quickly. Or as I like to say, coming in hot. And just blend that line.
Someone also had a question that what would be your suggestion with Asian hair with that same haircut? I struggle with his left side because it wants to stick straight out. It's difficult to control.
Great question. What happens with Asian hair that is too stick straight, you actually have to blend it one of two ways. You either, remember I told you that if you ever have somebody with when you cut that line, if they have curly hair, you'll be fighting it. Well, the same thing is with an Asian head of Asian hair. It wants to stick out so much that when you blend this line, I wouldn't cut a hard line and then cut up into it. What I would do is I would continuously cut a soft line until I visually could see that I could stand back here and see the two lines blended perfect. What you're doing when you're working with Asian hair or straight hair like this is you actually don't want to start fighting it. You want it to play with you, not against you. So what I would probably do with the Asian hair is I would look at the way he's wearing his part, the way he's wearing it back. Is he wearing it forward? Does he have a cowlick in a weird spot? Sometimes all you have to do is change the side that you put the hard part on. Sometimes all you have to do is change the way you hold the clippers and create a new look. Hi, Laura, come on in. So we're just taking these corners, see, here's that corner again. I'm just gonna take that off and take that right down to that jawline. Slip that in there like that, clean that line up. Now that's what you're creating, look how clean that line is. Remember I told you before, you gotta ask them about their eyebrows? You want me to clean up your eyebrows?
Sure thing, Joe.
There you go.
Someone was also wondering if you rent out suites in your salon.
I sure do. Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we have 7 rental suites, and we have 4, 5. We have 5 stations. We've all been together a long time, so it's kind of easy to talk to anybody here if you ever just want to ask a question.
So true.
So it's true. They are nice people. All right. We're pretty much finishing up this hairstyle. I'm gonna clean up his mustache. Put a little gel on him.
Release me back out to the wild.
Release you right back out to the wild. You want me to clean up your stash too?
Sure.
I've been doing hair cutting for 47 years, and the other day I cut the longest eyelash I've ever cut off a human being. An older fella had an eyelash about 3.5, 4 inches long, and I cut it, and he said, "What'd you just do?" And I said, "I cut your eyebrow, your eyelash was hanging too low." And he said, "I was wondering why I couldn't see through my right eye's glasses." It was like a windshield wiper in front of his glasses. All right, Mr. Mark, look up just a touch. You're perfect. When you learn to cut hair in the Navy, the first thing they teach you to do is nothing touches a lip line. So I kind of stuck with that idea my whole life. Look up, sir. A little more. There you go. In all honesty, I've been cutting Mark's hair all these years, and I think this is the longest haircut he's ever had. I can usually finish his haircut in 15 to 20 minutes, and we talk for 5 to 10 minutes. By using these tools and these ideas, these techniques, they'll make you a faster men's hair cutter if that's what you want to be. I don't like an empty book. If I have a spot open, I don't care where it's at in my book. I will fill it with somebody. Sometimes I even have to cut young kids' hair, but I just can't sit there and not do anything. So I try to fill my book as good as I can. And men's hair cuttings helped me tremendously, especially with my night clientele. It seems like I could be in the middle of doing a color, and in between I can do a men's haircut and just fill that little spot in there. So I'm not there until 10:30, 11 o'clock every night, but I'm still making a decent amount of money and I'm still moving along. I'll show you a cute trick that I use all the time. When I first used paste, I used to get all confused about, do you put a little on, do you put a lot on? What I learned to do is paste is basically handheld hairspray. Any place that I want the hair to really stick up or anything like that, I use just a little hairspray first. Remember, I told you, paste is handheld hairspray. I use a little bit of hairspray first. And then I go through and I get my paste. Never be scared to overuse paste. If you use too much of it, all you have to do is mist a little water over it. I'll save it really good. That hair is pretty much hard in front right now because the hairspray actually held it down for me. And what I like to do is I like to take a wide tooth comb and go through everything. It kind of gives it a clean line. If you see something that's working, go for it. If you see something that's not working, take it away. Okay, this is my men's haircut. Fading. Look at you. Hit that flipper at that angle, take that little tiny corner off of there. Put down, sir. See if there's ever any little hairs that you miss, just get your blade out and take them off. There's 2 or 3 little ones back here. They're so tiny, he'd never see them. I'd never see them. And yet again, I saw them. There's one sharp haircut for a young man like this, huh? Okay, I'm gonna cut them loose and I'm gonna start my next one and I'm gonna have a friend of mine, she's gonna start doing another style. So you'll be able to bounce back and forth on this one. All right, Mr. Mark,
All right, Joe.
are you ready?
I think
Ta-da!
so.
There's Mr. Mark, hard part, beard trimmed. Blended all the way around. Man, you look damn good for a Sunday afternoon. Go get him, Mr. Mark.
Good.
Have
Thanks,
a great
Joe.
day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone says it's good.
All right. I'm gonna do my next client is Laura. Did we decide what we're gonna do yet?
Nope, whatever you want.
Oh, cool.
That's what I told him.
Do you want me to get washed?
We're gonna have 2 things going on. Kaya's gonna show you a bubble braid. She does a great job. She's a very nice person. So Ashley's actually gonna be switching back and forth. So when you have a question, you can ask either of us whatever you want. Mark, have a good positive day.
Y'all have a great day, man.
Make the world a better place.
Have fun.
So this is my client, Laura. Did you want to go back short or you want to keep it long? You want to go more into a shag?
Not short, but shorter than this.
Okay,
Somewhere in there.
yeah, we'll go
And
into,
more of a bang because they get too long.
okay, we'll go more into a shag again.
Do you wanna?
Kaya, this is Kaya. She's a young hairdresser in our salon. She's always coming up with new and innovative ideas. That's why we asked her to be here today. This is
Olivia,
Olivia. And what are you gonna do on Olivia?
we're gonna do bubble braids. So I asked her where her part was and her part is down the middle. So we're gonna section her off down the middle.
Now, did you learn this on your own or did you learn it from YouTube? Did someone teach you?
I saw trends of it happening all over Pinterest, the internet. And I decided to learn. So I watched a few videos and learned myself, and now I've been doing it on everyone. It's the coolest hairstyle ever.
Have you done it on her before or is this your first time?
This is my second time doing it.
Second time. What I'm gonna do on Laura today is I'm gonna do a type of a shag. And the shag that I'm gonna do on her, I'm gonna basically take it in sections. And what I'll start with is I'll start with my perimeter. I'll take my back up to about her neckline. I'll take a circle around the top. I'll take everything from the forward, pull it back into a more of a shaggy effect. There's 2 techniques I use when I cut my shags. One of them is I twist it, and the other one is I always section my hair in circles. Because basically a shag is shattered hair going out. And whichever way you want to shatter that hair, that's which way you pull it to that circle. So if you want your hair to shag from far right, that's one way, far left is another way, down the middle is another way. So wherever you make your circle is where your shag is going to be the most predominant as far as layers go.
With this hairstyle, I am sectioning off little parts of it. So as you can see, I sectioned off almost like a triangle part from her forehead. And then I'm gonna take another part.
Now keep your eye on what she's doing. Watch this technique with her hands. She's gonna now take that rubber band. You want me to hand you rubber bands? You okay?
Oh, my gosh, thank you. I'm sectioning off and taking the same section I sectioned off with the next section and rubber banding that together.
This is a cute idea. Last Saturday, everybody in the salon had one except me.
And then you'll pull it tight, and with that little, you got that little gap right here, looks flat, but you could pull it. And give it that bubble. And we're gonna do that all the way down on the one side.
Now, do you add hairspray to that, or you just clean it up as you go along, or?
I clean it up as I go, and it's kind of like, you could style it messy or clean. So you could add hairspray to get rid of some of the flyaways. And again, I'm taking another section with the same section I had from the previous, and rubber banding that together.
I always love Kaya and all the girls that are working here because they're always coming up with new ideas, and it's kind of unique because even though we have such a blend of ages in my salon, we actually have a great collaboration and a culture of ideas. Everyone kind of sticks to the culture. If something's new, they share it. If something's not working, they share it. If something's working, they share it. I find a lot of times, especially because we're such a big color salon, that we're always finding the next trend before it almost hits the internet. So I think it's important nowadays to have diverse people in your salon, especially when it comes to the ideas of what goes on the internet. We made us such fast learners. Okay, remember I told you I was gonna cut Laura's hair in a shag? This is how I divide my shag in the beginning, is I split it right down the back of the head. Now you'll find out that splitting it by the back of the middle of the head, that's how you find the roundness of her head. So you can kind of see that she has a great neckline. That parting is very sliced in there. I'm gonna section it probably about 3 inches from the occipital bone over. Oh, that's looking really cool, Kai.
Thank you.
Is this your cousins, you said?
This is my brother's girlfriend.
Oh, your brother's girlfriend. I knew it was something.
So I'm doing the same thing going down. I'm kind of taking sections following her hairline in the back and along, just following the shape of the head, going all the way down and adding the same section into a new section and fluffing the same way.
Looking pretty cool, ain't it?
I like to pull along the way as well, because if you go all the way down and then go back to pulling, you'll get those like bumps. Sometimes those bumps are not the move.
Say that again?
I like to pull along the way. So I'll rubber band this. The section together. Pull it, and then I like to, the little bubble I have here, to create this fluff, I like to pull it out before I go on to the next section. So that way I'm not going back and pulling like the hair once I'm done with the little sections.
Ah. All right, here, I'm gonna do my first cut on Laura. I'm gonna use her neck as my guideline. I'm going to go straight at an angle like this. Like this. That's my middle part. I'm gonna come on this side and do the exact same thing, cut into a middle part. Hey, how long you been working here? 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
I think so.
It's funny because you meet people in the hairdressing industry, you meet people all the time and you kind of don't know who's gonna be who. It happens to me a lot of times. I understand what people look like and I understand how they talk, but I just don't understand artistic. I found out through my years of being a hairdresser, it doesn't matter who you are. If you are artistic, you're artistic. Bite the bullet. They're artistic. Okay, what I'm gonna do on this is I'm gonna actually leave these two corners out. Like this. By taking this underneath like this, holding my hands, I'm tilting this. Remember I told you in the last haircut, when you cut a square line, it's one way, and when you cut an angled line, it's another. This will be softening these two corners right here. So that will be soft hair. That will want to kick itself right out. Same thing with this side. When I cut this side, I cut it like this. If I cut this side down like this, I have to cut this side up like that. It's the engineering of your hair. But when I cut this side, I gotta hold my hands up. Hold my hands up just like this, palms up, cut into that corner, keeping those fingers so that hair softens as it goes out. Softens as it goes out. As you can see, it kind of gives it a rounded effect. Keeps that line very soft but very shaggy at the same time. And when I cut my second section, I'm gonna pull this section to that section. Oh, Kaya, that looks so beautiful. Great job.
Thank you. So when I get to the very bottom, instead of adding those sections, since you have no more sections to add, you're just gonna add hair ties here. And do the same thing. Once you get the double hair tie here, you're gonna fluff and fold to create that bubble effect. There we go, inside.
I lifted my section away like this, and I turned my hands. So I soften that line, not too square. Putting that line in like this. And now you're gonna start to see as we comb this down, this is gonna wanna start flipping out. We do the same on this side, except we have to now turn our palm up when we cut this. Hey, you think you could actually do one of your other ideas after that one? Or do you wanna just do that one?
Yeah, I can do another,
Good job.
or I can show you a pull-through braid on this side.
Yeah. No, finish that and then we'll do the other kind of braid on that side.
Okay.
Holding my hand like that, flipping that out. You're always searching for new ideas in the hair business. If you're not searching, you're probably dying. We had a lot of fun in our salon Saturday. I had a new lady who had never been here, and at the end of it, she told me that she was a hairdresser that quit the profession and went into nursing. And had she had worked in a salon that was as fun as ours, she probably wouldn't be a nurse today. So that's that culture that we created. Look at this. This is looking really cool. As you pull this forward, I'm sorry, as you pull this backwards, you have to keep your hands your fingers at an angle, because if you don't keep this angle going, this will not flip out on you, and that's what we're gonna want it to do. Go up the back of the head. When I probably get to the front, I'm probably gonna cut the bangs quite a bit shorter. And then when I cut the bangs quite a bit shorter, I'll tie them both together right behind the ear. Are you enjoying this? Is it the kind of thing you want to see for education? You get a little bit of the new, a little bit of the old, a little bit of the now, a little bit of the then. You're quiet over there, huh? Why are you so quiet?
Let her do her thing.
Ah,
Not disturbing the artist.
don't disturb the artist. I think it's awesome though, because sometimes when we get to, like Kaya is so new in the salon and she's doing so many things, it almost like ignites that next fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, she did that, I'm gonna do this. Wait a minute, I got it, I'm gonna look on the internet and find something. Yeah, that much.
What I'm saying, looks great.
Isn't that super cute? Saturday, everybody in the salon had one. Was there anybody you didn't do besides me, Nick and Eric?
No, it's just you guys.
Yeah. And Nick has the hair.
Steve, why didn't you do Nick? Someone said, it's always great watching you and your clan.
Ah. Yeah, I'm gonna give you some new stuff coming up to keep us involved. Every 6 months, we pretty much get a new idea and somebody jumps on it and somebody runs with it and somebody digs it and somebody else recirculates it. And it's just part of being who we are. Footprint of the idea that you leave behind is your own. People don't realize how strong your mind is, and you hold all the power in your hands and your mind. Now that's created that shag look right there. See how that shag is all choppy up in there? This angle right here will kick this hair forward. That angle will kick that hair forward. Now I'm gonna when I cut the bangs in front, I'm gonna actually tie this right behind her ear at an angle like that. So it gets pretty complicated. So keep your eye right now for a few minutes on Kaya. She's doing some cool stuff.
I'm repeating what I did on the other side and pulling the hair to give that bubble effect. The more you pull, the bigger the bubble.
Are them your lashes?
Yes.
Come on. Them are not, are they really your?
Oh no, they're not my lashes.
I was gonna say, they were some bad. They look good, girl. That's a smile lights up the room and then my baby blues back. I always tell people, especially with weddings, get lashes. I don't get it. They look,
Yeah.
they change the way the makeup looks. They change everything.
They're so much easier to get like ready with every day.
Exactly. Especially nowadays because they made them so different.
They can make them look so natural.
Yeah. It's funny too, because if you look at some weddings, you can tell the ones who have real
Yeah.
lashes and fake lashes. And it's like, just get the damn lashes. It makes things look so much prettier. All right, I'm gonna use Laura's left eye as my guide. So her bangs will be like this and like this. Okay, my first cut determines exactly what my angle is gonna be. There's her left eye. I'm gonna actually cut a rounded line right there. That's gonna be the angle that I'm gonna use. This angle is gonna connect here and then connect here. It's cool because when you create so many different ideas nowadays, I'm seeing a lot of the longer hair, especially with the colors. There for a while, everybody wanted to be what color? White. Trends are changing now. We're getting a lot more reds, a lot more not so white blondes that are really, the balayages are still there. Different color balayages, face framing. money pieces, things like that. You gotta really appreciate it nowadays, because kids are so into the way they look and the fashion idea. I does a lot of weddings, even though she's new. Got quite a good following already.
One of my favorite things to do.
Is to do a wedding? Yeah, I see you work all over the, internet, I really love it.
Thank you.
Remember I told you before, this is the corner that I'm gonna tie together. I'm gonna tie this corner right here to this corner right here. So this whole corner is gonna come out.
All right, the boa braids are done. But do we see these little flyaways? We can stick those away with some hairspray to give it more of like a neater look.
I think you should do one of your other buddies next.
Which one?
I don't know, whichever one you like to do, I love other stuff.
Cool.
Is that cute? It's to die for. Do another braid on. Yeah, pull it out, see what you get.
We do that big for braid.
Well, when you put the flowers on.
Yeah.
Yeah. do
Yeah.
that one.
That's pretty.
Okay, this is that line that I told you I cut. Now that's a hard line right there. I'm gonna come on this side and actually recut the same line. But because I cut from the corner there, I gotta make sure this corner and this corner match up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this line rounded like this, and then I'm visually gonna stand in front of it, look at it, match the two corners up. A lot of fun cutting hair. Been a hairdresser 50-something years. I still go to any show in the country, in the world, and watch people cut hair, do hair, color hair, braid hair, knot hair, twist hair. Anything they want to do, I'm willing to watch. There's my guideline over there. Blend my guideline back down like this. Now this is the only part that gets a little tricky, because you gotta blend these two corners. As we come this way like this, what I do is I stand in front of them and I actually just pull my pieces forward. And they almost match out perfectly already. Just a little bit off over here. You always gotta surprise them just a little. So today, the other day when I was working in the salon, I was watching Kaya do some braids, and that's why I kind of told her, "Hey, what are you doing on Sunday?" And she was like, I'll tell you the God's honest truth though. When I first saw her do that, and she was walking down the stairs in the salon, I said, "Hey, make sure you talk to me before you leave."
My face turned so red. I was just.
My daughter said, "Don't do that to that poor girl. Her face got beat red. She didn't know if she's being." I said, "No, I loved her work. I wanted to bring her in on something with me." My daughter's just scared her. "Dad, don't do that." Sometimes my brain goes, my mouth goes faster than my brain. So as you can see, I took a horseshoe section around the top here, and that horseshoe section is actually going to continue into my layers. My perimeter is cut. Take the flippy off there, blend this in. Now this is all rounded. Now because I'm going to cut this in a shag, I'm going to take a center point. Take this off. Push that over there. Take this off, push that over there. And this will be my center point right about there. Does that look off centered enough for you? Does it look off centered enough? Does it? Good. Now this is going to be my first cut. there's my first cut. As I go around in a circle, I'm gonna take all this side is gonna come this way, all this side is gonna come this way. This guideline that I just created, I'm gonna take round sections. As you twist that hair like that, you want that hair to start shagging out on you pretty bad. See what you've created? It's already wanting to stick up and pop and look shaggy. Make all your sections around. You have to focus on where your guide is. You have to keep that look right there. What's the next thing you're gonna do, Kaya? What do you
We're gonna
think?
do a pull through braid. It kind of has a similar effect. But it kind of gives like a butterfly wing. Instead of just one bubble braid.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like rounded party. Down like this. There's my round line. Bring it to the back of the head. Twist it once. There we go. You got beautiful hair.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Got
Sakara.
tons of it.
You can sit down on it, what?
Just got tons of it.
Tons of it? And that's all yours, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It is. Laura's had every kind of haircut I think I know, from short hair to long hair. Actually, last year we actually did a perm on her, right? Or was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago. Yeah.
Did you wanna say what you're doing?
Okay, so we're gonna do a pull through braid now. I'm gonna still leave her middle part, but we're gonna start a little bit lower. So I'm gonna start like this. And start rubber banding all the way down.
Now watch what she's doing here. This is the important and how you get started with it. Yeah, let me move this out.
I'm gonna use a little hairspray. To tame the hair.
She did. Okay, now I'm gonna start on the other side of this haircut. I'm gonna be turning this to this side. This side will be coming over here. This will be my least shaggy side. Shaggy side, very thin on the end, but very cool. And this top will be really, you can kind of see even just like looking at it like this. Like that's a really cool idea. So this is all gonna be moving forward. I cut more shags now than I have probably in 40 years. And I do a little bit of the wolf shags now. Here you go, you gotta take that rounded parting. Bring that hair all up. There's my guideline right there. Twist it one time. Cut into that guideline.
But I created like a half up, half down type of thing. And right now I'm pulling just to give her some volume. Or around three.
Keep your eye on her. This is important. This is the important part. So does she let you practice on her hair all the time?
Yeah, she's my go-to model.
She's your go-to model?
Yeah.
My go-to model standing right there. This is my go-to model. She's been with me all these years.
Got long luscious hair too.
Long luscious hair. Because we do so much stage work in the salon, we're always practicing, and sometimes it's, you know who practiced at home because you can see it in their work. I have a tendency not to do much practicing in the salon because I'm usually working. But any chance I get at home to try a new idea, that is so cool. That's a great idea. Focus on this, Ash, real quick. Look at the way she's tightening that up. Tell them how you tighten it up.
So right now, I did a half up, half down. I took the two sections from the sides and kind of spraying them with hairspray now just to tame the frizz. Give it more of a neater look. And I'm gonna rubber band that together right above where I had the other work.
What hairspray are you using to calm that frizz?
The aquash finishing.
Wash, finishing. Okay, I'm right at the end of this right now, and I'm still just gonna take that last section, spin it, and go right into it.
I'm taking that section too. I'm just pulling it a little bit. Now I'm gonna repeat that same step down. I'm gonna keep taking hair from the sides and rubber banding it right on top of the other rubber band and folding it. You're gonna do that just so you get till you have the part of only the ponytail. So you wanna make sure you grab all the hair on the sides.
It's a nice Sunday afternoon, you get your CEU hours in and you get to see some new ideas on hair cutting, hair dressing.
With that same piece, I'm pulling. And you can pull as much as you want.
I'm just gonna blow dry her bangs really quick because I want to really texture them down. So once I get them blow dried, I'll texture them down. Then when I finish this hair, I'm actually gonna let it dry on its own. So I'll probably use the diffuser to finish that hairstyle. Probably right now, the haircut that I just did on her is probably one of the hottest haircuts in Europe. It's very shagged out. We can do these on longer versions, we can do them on shorter versions. It's kind of like whatever you want to do, but that shaggy look is coming in big time again. I watched my daughter do probably about 5 or 6 of her friends that are big time travelers, and they're all going into the shag look.
And I'm repeating that step. As you see, I just grabbed like the last bit of hair from off her neck and adding it to connecting it and rubber banding it together.
Very cool.
And you'll do the same thing, just pull. That's what creates like the butterfly.
I'm gonna freehand cut this. I'm gonna do what they do is they call this, slicing or shattering. I'm gonna go in pretty heavy duty into this to lighten up that vein quite a bit. I don't want it too heavy. Matter of fact, I don't want it heavy at all.
Once you get to the ponytail part, you're just gonna repeat this step all the way down where it's almost, you have two sections. You're gonna take the one from behind, split it in two and wrap it around and rubber band that together.
Wow, a lot of hair on the floor, no? When you do this technique, what you do is you have to have your scissors slicing in. You can't take them at an angle. So what you do is you just take them straight in. See how diffused that line looks? I want that diffused line all the way across. So you just cut right in. Sometimes if I wanted just a tad piece here, what I'll do is I'll hold it up and do a little back cutting underneath it. Now when you back cut, you barely open and close your scissors. As you do that, you just take the lightness right off the tips. Yes. It's moving along pretty quickly. I'm doing three cuts. Kai might even do a braid after that one. I don't know. She has nothing to do. Why not? This is something I learned doing here on stage for Quaj is if you want a real textury look, even when the hair is wet, you can use a little bit of paste and really just put it all over that hair. Get that hair with a little hairspray when you're done, and you really create a really thick look to the hair. This hair wants to kick itself out already, so it came out to be such a cool shot. As you can tell, Laura's always changing her hair because there's a lot of hair on the floor.
Grows back.
Grows back, exactly. And let that ferment for a little while. And then I'm gonna take right now and I'm gonna cut a little V right in the top of her hairline. Cut this V in the top of that hairline, it gives it that little edgy look to it. What you want, that's so beautiful.
Thank you. And once you get to the bottom, you can leave these almost like disconnected or even connect them with a single rubber band, and that would be your. If you do not like the idea of like the rubber band showing, you can add flowers, little gems, little hair pieces to cover those. Or even fluffing it a little bit more will hide those away.
Okay, I let that paste just ferment in that hair just for a few minutes. Came out really cool. I always think about like in salon life, when I first started doing hair, all we did was sets and perms, and now I don't even know anybody perming much hair anymore. It's mostly color. It's a lot of cool colors too. I have a couple people in here that do a lot of pivots. The reason why I'm telling you that is I learned many years ago that no matter what you're gonna do in your life, I don't care what it is, whether it's hairdressing, mechanics, I don't care what it is, things are gonna change you have two situations. You can either go with the change or you can be miserable. And I've seen it happen many times, especially with people who don't want to get on the internet or people who don't believe in change, they don't believe in the new ideas. That's your choice, and if that's your choice, God bless you. But being angry about it will get you nowhere. So when you see beautiful work like this, instead of saying, hey, I can't do that, I would get on board and learn how to do it. I mean, that's a really cool idea. It's very simple, but it's very complete. Go ahead, Takaya, talk it up a little bit. You gonna
So-
finish that, put some twists in the bangs or?
Yeah, we're gonna give a little bit of a curl to the front. Like this.
Yeah, go right ahead. Go the other way.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
So I'm gonna take the little front pieces. I left those out just to give her some face framing. And finish off the. Oh.
You guys like that kind of stuff? Comment on it. Tell us. Yell, scream. Let us know you're there.
Been pretty quiet.
I know. You're all learning.
Would look great for upcoming proms.
Yes, prom, homecoming.
Now, as I dry this shag, I just let it dry on its own. That's all I'm gonna do. I try to keep the hair as organic looking as I can. If I have to doll it up, all I do is I do those two pieces like that. This is one cool looking haircut. Check that out.
I love that. So that looks so cool.
Thank you. This is way sporty.
So you could leave the curl like this, super tight, bouncing. Or, what I like to do. Braid the root a little bit, and even some powder play. Tease it a little bit. Split it out.
Now that
You
was a
see
good
the-
idea.
And you see the shape of the curl. Tease it a little bit. And then you can go back to smoothing it from the top. So you like to tease from the bottom. And you can fluff it out with your fingers.
Great idea, Kai.
Hold it in your hand.
Beautiful, kid. Look at that.
So now we can see that, almost like Hollywood love.
Can you do that one more time on the other side? I love that
Yeah.
idea. Look at how soft and gorgeous that was. Very nice.
So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I have to curl my hand, I'm just gonna hairspray it a little bit. Then we go back, hairspray her root. Or you could use the powder. He's at the root here, at the base. And then you can go back and smooth it out just a little bit. Then you'll follow the shape of the curl. See how I've got that swoop? You'll go back and tease at that swoop. You can hairspray that by fluffing it out in your fingers. And combing it so it's smooth, but don't comb out the cheese to get that.
Hi, that is so beautiful.
Thank you. Only gives it natural look. Say your client wanted a higher blue, you wanted more volume to shape their face. You could go back. If you want to.
So you basically just back home right at that root and then just push the back home up as you come down. Beautiful.
And say your client wanted more volume, you could choose it at that one.
Notice how she holds the hairspray far away from there so she doesn't get it too wet. Beautiful idea.
See how much more volume that already gave than this one?
You guys got to see some cool ideas on hair today.
Again, just use the rope. Don't be shy with it, you can always just brush it out.
She's one really cool shag haircut, I'll tell you that. God bless this girl. How you guys liking the way this looks? I told you by cutting those round, pie-shaped sections, see how everything goes this way and everything goes that way? That's like how you create that movement. Then you cut the front shorter, that whole pie shape right here was moved over to this side. This side is finer, this side is heavier. As you come over to here, I did not drop anything out of this haircut. So if you do check this haircut, it does completely blend. It's got a lot of movement, especially around the face. That is one cool haircut, ain't it? Here, I'll show you. This is all the shag part of it. All the other stuff is just window dressing. You just kind of push it around, let it dry. And this dried on its own, by the way. I didn't really have to dry much of it. I just dried it more or less just to show you how the end result was gonna be. If you see something that you like or you don't like, please comment on it.
Looks so pretty.
She's more European than she thinks.
Oh, let's go find a trip to Paris.
That's it, there you go. We'll all go to Paris for the weekend. So, this is my friend Laura. This is my shag idea. This is Kaya's gonna do one more.
Yeah, I could do one more.
Okay, we're gonna do one more braid for you, and then what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna, my final one's gonna be a guy's haircut again. And, I don't know how we're gonna do that, we're gonna figure it out. Okay, here you go, Miss Laura.
All right, thank you, sir.
No, thank you, it's a cool haircut. There's my haircut. I know,
Yeah, that's a lot of hair.
that's a lot of hair.
Thank
Go
you.
enjoy your Sunday with your new hair.
All right, have fun, everybody. Thank you.
Guy's gonna do another updo, and then I got somebody coming in at 11, I'm gonna do another haircut. Is there anything you guys wanna ask, any questions you have?
We want another braid, a bun, I'll show you easy twist.
Yeah, show us an nice easy twist.
Okay.
I love the idea that you put that together so quickly and so softly. Bye, Laura, have a good day.
Hi, have fun.
Bye.
Love the shag cut, looks really nice, both braids look fantastic. All the positive. Someone said I'm not really fully understanding the circle sections.
The circle sections are actually, the reason why you take a circle. The circle sections are, here, I'll show you why you take a circle. Sorry about that. The reason why you take a circle like this is because when you hold it here and cut it and twist it, these create, when you twist it like this, as you drop it, it makes these ends different and diffused. If you held it up like this and cut it blunt in a circle, sorry, if you held it up like this and cut it blunt in a circle, when you dropped it, that line would be right there. You would actually almost start to create a line. The reason why you twist your hands is when you twist it like this and you cut it to that guideline now, when you drop it, when you drop this guideline, it becomes very diffused at the ends. And that's what you want to create. The circle allows you to do that because the shorter piece here will always be your guide that you pull to. So as you pull to that guide and twist it, it'll make the hair that you're twisting longer because you're twisting it like this. And these hairs that are twisting that are longer are moving around this circle. So when you drop them, they spread out instead of being just one rounded chopped line. Did I answer your question? When you, it's kind of like when you cut a disconnected haircut. You can cut a disconnected haircut, you still have to have something, some guideline to it. So that's what I actually did with that haircut. I would have had her stay and showed you, took it all up again.
She said yes, thank you. Yes.
Guy's gonna do a quick bun.
Yep.
And then my next haircut should be walking in 2 seconds.
So I'm using the same front pieces I did before. With that, it works as well. Same style. I'm gonna go back. Just tease up a little bit of the root. I like to spray the root. It gives it more of like secure tease. Spray the volume.
I'm just gonna show you a little quick braid. It moves really easy. Somewhere along the lines of just I call it a pull braid, but it creates a different movement. My haircut comes, I'll just jump right on. And add your sections.
I'm teaching the sides so they're not too flat and they round up. And give her that nice spot.
This is basically nothing more than a 3-strand braid. You're just building on it.
And sprayed some hairspray and then on the top layer, I'm straightening it to give her more of a finish. Just so she has a little bit of a natural wave in her hair. Gives it more of a smooth finish.
You guys like braiding techniques and all the new ideas that are coming out? Kind of neat to work with rubber bands and just kind of have a situation that works for you. You can do this idea on the front or the back.
You turn your model a little bit, Joe. There we go. Now I can see.
So with her hair, I'm just taking it and putting it into a ponytail. Yeah. And just because she has so much hair, I'm gonna use a thicker elastic just to make it more secure. And you can make this bun where whatever height you would like, either low on the neck, higher, wherever you'd like.
That's a cool idea, Jen.
Nickel back, just add some texture to the hair.
All I'm gonna do is just soften this by putting a bobby pin in it.
I'm gonna use some aquash transforming paste. Just to tame the flyaways and give it more of like a sleek bun. I'm gonna take these two strands and twist them. And then twist them together. Could secure it at the bottom with the hair tie.
Ah, that looks great.
You could even leave it like that, just like a look effect. But to finish it off. I'm gonna take it and twist it around. So I like the shape of it. I'm gonna start pinning. And I'm just pinning it to her hair, placing it so it stays. You wanna just make sure if you did use a rubber band to hide that, you can just tuck it in there. Without becoming the hair, that's okay. So you could leave it tight like this. Or even go back in and fluff them there.
I love that.
Someone said very classy. Very
Yes.
Pretty.
You can even style it with like a hairpin here. I've done pearls before. Or even like, it'd be perfect for a veil to stick right there.
Very good idea. Maybe you even got one more in your tire?
I don't know what they're. And feel free to pull some pieces out by the ear, by the face. Adds a nice shape to it.
Now, this is nothing more than the 3-strand braid that I just pulled. And all I did was just pull it forward. Very simple. Very elegant.
Turn her a little.
Sure.
There we go.
And that's what you created. Very soft. Spray it a little bit, gives movement around with both sides of the face. Very messy, but organic in the back. When you pin this, this moves very easily, so if you want to move it up and feel like you need to pull these apart, which I do a lot of times, it still gives that soft look to the hair. I know she's a mannequin, but she's my favorite mannequin.
Awesome job.
Thank you.
So even with this, you can keep it simple. Fluff it. That's it. Or even a piece like Joe's.
Yeah.
Sticking it in there.
Put it in there.
Thank you. Look how much that already added.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Great for homecoming, a wedding.
She's a good model. She's quiet.
Your hair is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous hair. Did you do the color on her too?
Yeah,
Good job.
thank you.
Okay, my next model is a little late, so. Gonna come around and try one more on her?
Sure. What would you like me to do?
I don't know, maybe a rope braid all the way around her or something.
Okay.
Rope braid her whole head.
Oh, like a crown braid?
Yeah, ground braid is.
Through the door.
There they are.
Make sure they don't knock down the light there. Hi, Kev. Come on in. Sorry.
Hi.
Come on over. Hi, good morning. Good. Back the coat, drop in my chair. Kind of neat, you got to see 2 different ideas this morning. You got to see definitely finished work for weddings and proms, and it's a good time of the year to do that. I'm gonna do one more guy's haircut. I'm gonna do more of a mullety effect to it. Is that cool?
Yeah.
And we're gonna go from there. Have a seat, sir. This is Kevin. He's had just about every hair color you can imagine. Every haircut you can imagine. So how's your morning? You guys enjoying all this? Try to give you some new ideas. we're gonna be giving a lot more education the next year or two. So, next year, you know, it's gonna be a year where they, what do they call that, when they ask everybody for their hours?
CEUs,
Yeah, what's that?
the year, I don't know, I just call it an on year.
It's like the
Okay,
renewal, so.
Yeah, I call it the on year and the off year.
I think next year is when they actually,
They're doing some.
audit.
Oh, okay, yeah,
They audit on odd years, so next
Mhm.
year is a year that they'll audit.
yep.
So we got a lot of education coming towards you. Jerry, you know, does his amazing scissors.
Oh, it's a great way to spend a Sunday morning. I agree.
Okay, for this style, I'm gonna use the same tees I had before. Just gonna bump it up a little. Nice technique is you could use the end of your tail bun. Keep it up.
Awesome, right? So what I'm gonna do with Kevin is I'm gonna actually cut a more modern mullet on him. As you can see, he's got natural curl to his hair. So we're gonna actually use this curl to blend this line here, to blend this line here. The front and the top is just a tad short for me, so I'm not gonna take much off that, but everything else I'm gonna clean up and get it really going good.
So on Olivia, I'm gonna do a French twist. I feel like this is gonna be very popular for this prom season. So what I'm taking with her hair, since she does have thicker hair, I'm gonna tie it in a ponytail once again, just to give her an extra secure style that would last her all night.
So you're gonna give her a French twist?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna cut Kevin with a weight line that's a little higher than he has, so it'll make his face look definitely more slimming. So what I'm gonna do is instead of cutting the weight line square like he has it cut, I'm actually gonna cut into it upward.
So as you see, I have the ponytail. Now I'm just gonna take my hands and twist it in. And give her that twist.
Wait a minute, show him that again, let her focus in on that. Go ahead, Ash, focus in on that.
There's multiple ways to do this style. A quick way is just to take the ponytail, wrap it around your 3 fingers and twist it. And then you could start pinning.
When I come to the back side of Kevin's hair, I'm gonna round just like. I'm gonna start to round this right around the occipital area of his head, cut into my hand. Wow, cut a lot there.
To hide this ponytail, I'm gonna split it down horizontally in half and flip the hair in.
License renewal year, Jerry said.
There you go.
The
Who
on
said
year,
that?
the off year, Jerry, of course.
Oh,
Thanks,
Jerry.
Jerry. That was
Okay.
cool just by itself.
Yeah, right? I feel like it does too.
It's not
Very
different.
cool.
So, but to hide the rest of like this, you could even have that like pin there.
Yeah, it's a great idea too, yeah.
But instead, I'm gonna twist that and give her that French twist look. And I'm just gonna start pinning.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clip or cut a little bit more of this. But I'm not gonna do it too short, I don't want it too short. Take my flat topper, move my hands out there. And as I come around here to blend it. Even easier. The last guy's haircut that I did, I cut it real tight around the hairline. This I wanna make it real loose because it's more mullety. You're probably looking at two exact opposite haircuts that I did. The first one I did, that guy was very tight and very shaved and way more sculptured. Mullets aren't supposed to be that way. They're supposed to be very loose and free. I love that.
Thank you. I think it looks really cool.
Got a little piece you can put in there and it look like it's almost finished.
Like you could style it there.
Oh my God, is that adorable or what? Next, we're gonna tie your hair up into a knot there, Kim.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like that's super pretty.
Well, it's so funny because as you go through your years of hairdressing, you learn so many new techniques. And I've been a hairdresser all these years and hiding that little bun on the underneath when she split it. That's new to me. I never saw that before. So look at that, how gorgeous that turned out.
And feel free to pull all this out. You can make it messier. We like the tighter look, leave it tighter.
Woo. Got some hair going on today. Got your bangs a little too short.
And say you don't like the like little donut hole it's giving you there.
What'd you
Take
say?
those together and just pin it
Just-
down the middle like
It's a
that.
Frankie's.
And I did already. To get rid of some of the flyaways. Some hairspray.
Okay, I'm still rounding the cut around the head here. As you turn these corners, you gotta remember, you gotta keep these lines rounded because it's a mullet. It's not, you're not cutting a shag where it's gotta be flipping out or anything. You gotta keep that hair completely in line.
Someone asked if we were gonna be doing more Zoom classes. We do plan on putting a couple more Zoom classes in this year, as well as in-person ones. So we're gonna have a combo of Zoom and in-person this year. So make sure you follow us on Facebook or Instagram so that we can share that information with you. That's the easiest way that we share all that information with you, is Facebook and Instagram.
We have a lot more coming. We have such a new, my whole salon is so new and young. The ideas are, I literally couldn't even have put them all in today. I probably have about 4 or 5 new young stylists that this kind of work is very normal to them. I also have a bunch of new stylists that are doing more colors and stuff like that. So as our creativity is ours, we will donate it. Well, we don't donate it, we will give it to Jerry. We will give it to Jerry and Sharper Edge, so this way they always have something new coming at you. We have 2 or 3 girls in the salon that are huge Instagram, have huge following. A couple of them have won awards on different things, and it's all available to you. Just stick with us. We'll always have new stuff for you. You can see my mullet's already coming out pretty cool. Just don't take too much hair off. That is one cool line for a mullet. Do you want more hair? Do you want more online shows? If that's what you want, just tell us. We're pretty much open for just about anything.
Someone said they like the all day with the lunch too. So yeah, we'll definitely have a combo of both in person and Zoom this year. So make sure you follow us so you can always see what's coming up next.
Just a little bit. Now, what did you color her hair with, Kai?
I did I actually did a full highlight on her. This is just her natural afro.
Oh, that's what I meant. Okay, so it's a highlight. It's not an outfit. It's not a balayage.
Yeah. It's a full highlight. And then I toned with pin shades.
Oh, nice. That's information. There you go. What we're gonna use is we're gonna use actually a guideline at the back of Kevin's head. When you photograph any type of hair, there's two things you have to look at. Photography goes this way. So to make Kevin look more pleasing to the eye, what you're gonna do is give him more hair here and more hair here. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna take off hair here and let this all grow. Them two lines, especially as you can see, can I show them something real quick, Kai?
Yeah.
As you can show real quick in any kind of photography, this line is so important. When she lifted this created that movement and it changed that line. That line comes like this, or that line comes like that. That's the only two things photographers need to look at, especially when they're doing magazine work. Kai is one of our youngest new hairdressers in the shop. She's got so many cool ideas.
And that's our French twist.
Beautiful. That's gorgeous, man.
Thank you. And you could add anything. A veil, pearls, or a clip like that.
Just show them one more time how to tie that knot with that hair split. That was a great idea.
This.
Yeah. You don't have to do the whole thing. Just show them how to hide that. That's a great trick to know.
Okay. Yeah, I like that kit. It works wonderfully.
This is my blend point for Kevin. This right here is his guideline. So everything comes to this guide. And as I pull it up like this, you can see he has different lengths all through this. So we just kind of clean up those lengths. When I'm done, what I'll usually do with this kind of hair is I'll flat iron the front and leave the back as curly as I can get it to give it that look. I still section hair, believe it or not, even though I'm a pretty fast hair cutter. I always make sure my guides are checking in. There's my guide, it's not checking in right there, just clean it up. Guide is then start checking in, cleaning it up. So you guys want these on Sunday mornings, or would you like them on Mondays, or what's the best day for you to see these? Give us some feedback on it. We really want to get an idea of what you're looking for. Whatever you tell us, that's what's gonna come up.
Mondays, kind of combo.
Combo.
Mm-hmm.
So Sundays or
Mondays,
Mondays are good.
Monday.
In the mornings or in the afternoons or at night? There's a corner in Kevin's hair right here. I didn't cut it there. I don't know where it came from. I'm just gonna cut it out.
A lot of Sunday mornings. Morning. Everybody morning.
That's good. That's what we need to know.
Okay, I'm gonna show how to hide the ponytail with these again. This time I'm gonna do it a little bit lower. Take your ponytail. Tie a regular ponytail.
And watch how she's gonna hide this, hide this, she's gonna divide it.
So instead of going down vertically, as if you were just gonna like create like a pull through ponytail, go horizontally. Pull it apart a little bit. And then pull it into the whole thing.
Wow,
And it hides all of it. You can even flop that before you start your French toast. You even create like a bun like that. So now it's hidden and you can't even see it here.
Somebody also said, they'd like to see long layer techniques on lighter hair models, because sometimes it is a little tricky to see on the darker hair models.
yeah. Write that down, though, next time I'll have all light hair models.
Okay.
Okay, now look at how cool this line already is starting to take shape. Just because the way his hair is. That looks pretty cool. I'm gonna barely blow dry this back. Probably not gonna blow dry it at all, to be honest with you. Barely gonna blow dry the back. But I am gonna blow dry the front. How's that looking, Ash? Can you tell?
Yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
Good hair.
You can even leave that ponytail like that. I think that looks good. So what do you think?
I think it looks awesome. Matter of fact, there's so many ideas you can do from right there that you. That French twist was a great idea, kind of. Just gonna finish this off. I'm probably gonna flatten the top. See how the back looks. I'm not gonna do anything for the back. It looks so cool. So funny, through all the years I've been doing hair, I've met so many hairdressers, met so many people. I feel like at some point in your life, you always think have I learned everything? And then you see somebody do a French twist with that little idea, and all of a sudden it dings in your head. No, you haven't learned everything. That was a great idea. It's kind of like the first time I ever saw a chopstick. I just looked at it like, that was a great idea. Why did I not know this? I guarantee you, I would be working on that idea, Kyle. These guys have grown so fast in the hair industry. I just don't know what to tell you. Oh, it's beautiful. Anybody got any questions on any of this new stuff that we're doing? Any mullet ideas? Yeah, that's really cool idea.
I love that.
The other day I was cutting somebody's hair and the lady was from far away and one lady says, oh, I come from this far away. The other lady said it came from like twice as far. And I was cracking up. I'm like, we have clients from everywhere in the country. Matter of fact, we have clients from everywhere in the world. So it's like, somebody from Naperville doesn't understand that somebody from St. Charles comes a whole lot farther than they do.
Gary said, better than Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, yeah. Just a little more here and front there. Get it there or no? Yes.
So here you go, if you want this one.
No, I'm good. This one's good. I thought your hair burning, by the way. When I was waxing his hair like this, you can hear it sizzling only because there's moisture in there. I'm gonna clean up his neckline. I'm gonna dry the back of his hair, clean up his eyebrows a little bit. Oh. I thought this was your season.
And this says my relaxation day.
Ah. You're constantly making new ideas, and this is like taking an old idea and making it your own. And this guy, look at that. Just straightening that hair and making them bangs look longer. You always want your clients to be the new kid on the block, the hipper kid on the block, and fortunate or unfortunate, my clients have always been that kid.
We'd like to know where your salon is located.
You can tell them, Mokina, Illinois, Planet Color.
So, do any of your clients get nervous when you bust out those foot-long shears? Remember when you did that on stage to me?
Yeah.
What is happening? Yeah, as a client, you get nervous, I know.
It's easier to make one cut one time than make 10 cuts 100 times and have that line straighter.
So I took that little trick and turned it into a style. To like a side pony. By fluffing the hair and curling the ponytail.
That is beautiful, Kaya.
Thank you.
Did a great job. You were a great mom. No, you can't.
I knew that.
Yeah, I knew that. If you guys want to get in touch with us, you can call us anytime. You can call me at Joe Pachoric at Planet Color. You can call Ty at Planet Color. If we can answer any questions for you, we always will. I'm that guy that believes that every client has product, fear. So get them used to using a certain product that you like, get them used to having the feel of what you like.
Thank you for having us, Joe.
No, thank you. I knew the first time I saw you do that bubble braid, I said, I gotta get this girl up there with me.
Well, she's all set up for the day.
Style for the day. Got nowhere to go, going to the
No.
movies, going to the gym.
Looks like my brother's gonna take 2 hours, so.
Actually, that's a good idea, you know? Now you gotta be taken out, show you off a little bit. Well, I'm finishing up Kevin. Show you a trick I've been doing for years, especially with curly hair. If you can just spray curly hair enough with a light hairspray, hold it as far away as you can. How you gonna be hitting it? You can leave everything, I'll
Oh,
clean it
sure.
up. Yeah, I'll clean it up, I don't mind at all. But you can hit it with hairspray and just put it where you want it. When you go to dry it, it becomes way more organic. So this is how I would dry Kevin's hair naturally. Just by moving the hair around with your hands, you create a different look.
You're not strictly in a quad salon, are you?
We are not a strictly a quad salon. I worked for a quad for 17 years doing updos on stage. I still use their products, but everybody here has different ideas. Look at how cool that's coming out. Kick Billy Ray Cyrus's ass on that one. We're gonna grow the veins out a little bit more for me. I'm liking the look. A lot of what we showed you today is based on what goes on at our salon. All the ideas that we have here, you can call any one of us anytime. The girls that work here, every one of them is capable of doing just about anything you saw today. I'm very fortunate sometimes when I run into a young lady like Kaya or Laura or Nick or there's so many of them in here that they're so talented that I just sit back in awe and just love to watch their careers bound in nowheresville and just kind of keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. Your mind is limitless.
What color line do you use?
We use Matrix, Wella, Redkin, and I'm missing one. What are the ones that we use, Kai? Matrix, Redkin, Wella,
For our Vivids, we use Pravana.
Pravana for Vivets, Pulp Riot, and that's about it.
Thank you.
Bye, dear.
Thank you,
See you guys
Joe.
later. Enjoy your day.
You as well. Thank you again.
Wow, you never would have thought this would be looking this cool, Kevin. This looks awesome. And we have so many new stylists at our salon. Many of the salons around us have been here for a while. I move every 5 years because I do not to be too stagnant. The reason why I move every 5 years, I think if you change the footprint in your life, it will change the thought process in your life. So I'm constantly moving my salon about every 4 to 5 years, sometimes 3 years, sometimes 6 years, but around that timeline. The kids I hire, I always like fresh new kids out of school. It just so happens that right now I probably got the freshest group I've had in many, many, many years. They're all very inventive. If there's any questions that I can ever answer for you, please just give me a call.
Someone would like to know for hair cutting, how to care for men's that are thinning in the front and on top.
There's so many products now, especially with the thinning idea. If you're gonna cut thin hair, you just gotta be careful not to take too many layers, just leave it a little longer so they have something to play with. It's very hard nowadays because so many products promise you that they're gonna grow hair and they don't. If I see somebody, especially a woman, that's having any problems around the hairline, I'm not a doctor, so I send them almost immediately to a dermatologist. And 2 times in a row right now, I found women who are having what they call hairline alopecia. And I was able to help them out, and the doctor actually was able to stop the hairline from coming back to here. So, we're not doctors, we're hairdressers. And if it's something that I think it needs to be addressed, especially by a doctor, I immediately suggest they go there. How you guys like Kevin's hair? Beautiful, huh? All right, looks like I'm done cutting Kevin's hair. Let me clean up his neckline a little bit and we'll go from there. You want me to clean up your eyebrows too?
Sure.
Look down just a touch. Take my little razor, go around, get those wrinkles. You can shape men's eyebrows just like you can anybody's eyebrows, so. Look up.
I like it, looks great, suits him.
That looks a whole lot. Just by cleaning up his eyebrows, it actually gave him even a cleaner look. Got a great jawline for this too, by the way. You guys got a lot of good new stuff today. You got a mullet, you got a shag, you got 2 ways to put a French twist in. You learned how to trim a beard, blow dry a beard. By the way, when you blow dry that beard, remember I said you use a round brush. If they have a really short beard, what you can do is you can actually use a comb and do the comb underneath and follow it with a blow dryer. It'll flattens out that beard really nicely. If they want it to look a little stubby as it blends up like this, you know how to do that. You learn that with the blending comb. So my name is Joe Chorick. We're gonna end a few minutes early. Is that okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna end a few minutes early. God bless you. Have a good, positive day. This is Ashley. She's everything, actually.
Thanks for coming on, guys. We're definitely gonna have more Zoom classes, more live in-person classes, like I was saying, behind the scenes. So make sure you follow us on Facebook, Sharper Educations, follow us on Instagram. We do push out emails all the time, so if you want to leave your email address, if you don't get our emails, just drop your email address in the question and answer section, and I'll add you guys to our list. So thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed and you learned a lot today. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good, positive day. Are you done?
I think fingers like flagging. There we go. Yeah.